So students, up to now we have seen in Deep Water by William Douglas that a boy threw him into the water and he had gone deep into the water and he was trying to come up as he has not learned yet swimming. He was sinking into the water. He was trying for the help, but the voice was not coming out of his mouth. He was breathing, but and that was the relaxation to him. He tried very hard, but he was not able to come out. He tried to call for help. He tried to call for mother, but everything was in vain. So now we see further, and then strangely there was light. I was coming out of the awful yellow water. At least my eyes were. And then strategy there was light. I was coming out of the awful yellow water. At least my eyes were. My nose was almost out too. Then I started down a third time. I searched for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out. Then all effort ceased. I relaxed. Even my legs felt limp, and the blackness swept over my brain. I wiped out fear. I wiped out terror. There was no more panic. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. This is nice. To be drowsy, to go to sleep. No need to jump. Too tired to jump. It is nice to be carried gently, to float along in space. Tender arms around me. Tender arms like mothers. Now I must go to sleep. So here in this paragraph, William Douglas wants to say that something strange happened. He saw light. His eyes came out of the water. His nose was almost out of it. Means he was out of water. He felt it. Then he started going downwards into the pool for the third time. And again coming out of it, again he was drowning. He tried to breathe but gulped water instead. The light went out as he drowned again. Then he stopped, making effort to save himself. William relaxed. His legs became lifeless and his brain experienced a blackout. The fear ended. He did not panic. He became quiet and experienced peace. He was not afraid of drowning anymore. He felt sleepy. He was tired to jump up. Felt nice to be carried in his mother's arm as he felt sleepy. Okay, so now next paragraph. I crossed to oblivion and the curtain of life fell. So what he says in this life, William became unconscious as he drifted away towards death. Then next paragraph. The next I remembered I was lying to my stomach beside the pool vomiting. The chap that threw me in was saying, but I was only fooling. Someone said, the kid nearly died. Be all right now. Let us carry him to the locker room. So here in this paragraph, when William gained consciousness, he was lying on his stomach beside the pool and was vomiting. He heard someone scolding the boy who had pushed him into the pool. The voice said that William had almost died, and the boy replied that he was fooling with him. The voice asked the boy to carry William to the locker room. Several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. The slightest exertion upset me, making me wobbly in the knees and sick to my stomach. So what he says here, students, after many hours, William walked home. When he was walking, he felt weak and shivered. He kept on crying as he lay on his bed. He was unable to eat food. The fear kept on haunting him for many days. He would feel like vomiting. Then the paragraph, I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. So here he says that William did not go to the swimming pool as he feared the water. He remained away from water. So next paragraph. A few years later, when I came to know the water of the cascade, I wanted to get into them. And whenever I did, whether I was wading the Titan or bumping river or bathing in warm lake of the goat rocks, the terror that has seized me in the pool would come back. I would take possession of me. It would take possession of me completely. My legs would become paralyzed. I see horror would grab my heart. So what he says in this paragraph, students, after some years, William came to know of a waterfall and wanted to go there. Whenever he went for swimming in different rivers like the Titan, Bumping River, Warm Lake of the Goat Rocks, the fear of water returned. It would grab him completely, disabled his limbs and grab his heart. So what he says in next paragraph in 2 lines, this handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. In canyons of main lakes, fishing for landlocked salmon, bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Doucette and Metolies in Oregon. So what he says, then he was going for fishing in different areas. Now we go to the next page. Bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Doucette and Metolies in Oregon, fishing for salmon on the Columbia, at Bumping Lake in the Cascades. Whenever I went, the haunting fear of the water followed me. It ruined my fishing trips, deprived me of the joy of canoeing, boating and swimming. Canoeing means, student, paddle boat. Canoeing means paddle boat. So he says that. So he says here that the fear of water remained with William as he grew up on the boating trips of different lakes in the Maine region. New Hampshire, Doucette, Metolies, Columbia, Bumping Lake, where he fished different varieties of fish, namely salmon, bass and trout. The fear followed him. His fishing trips were destroyed as he did not enjoy boating and swimming due to the fear. Right? Now next paragraph. I used every way I knew to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly in its grip. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope, and we went back and forth across the pool. Hour after hour, day after day, week after week. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and I went under. Some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. Then it taught me to put my face under water and exhale, and to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated this exercise hundreds of times. Bit by bit, I shed part of the panic that seized me, but my head went under water. So here, students, in this paragraph, cable means a thick rope. Okay, and shed here means remove, and seized means grip. Okay, so here in this paragraph, what he says, he tried to ward off the fear. He wanted to conquer the fear, but was unable to get rid of it. Finally, in the month of October, he hired an instructor to teach him swimming. He would practice for an hour each day, 5 days a week. William described the learning process. What will the instructor do? The instructor put a belt around William's waist. The belt was attached to a thick rope. The rope went through an overhead pulley and was held by the instructor. It ensured that in case William drowned, the instructor would pull him out. William swam across the length of the pool for several weeks. But whenever the instructor loosened the rope, he went down into the water, and fear would return. It would immobilize his legs. It was after 3 months of practice that William got comfortable. Then the instructor taught him to breathe in the water. He taught him to put his face under the water and exhale his breath. He was taught to raise his nose out of the water and inhale. William practiced several times. Gradually, he got rid of panic that would grab him when he put his head under the water. So students, next part of the chapter will be done in next lecture. Thank you.